Hey, I was wondering if you could do
Star Wars Jedi Power Battles is a platform arcade style game that came out on PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast in the promotion cycle for Phantom Menace, even though this came out a year after Phantom Menace. This game coming out in the year 2000 means that this game is 25 years old. And recent with Aspire announcing a remaster, comes the question of, was this game ever as good as I remember? This is the very first Star Wars game that I ever remember playing. Today I want to take a look at the remaster. I've played through it a couple times and I've gone through everything. So here is going to be my opinion and my review of the remaster of Jedi Power Battles.
And here's the main menu. So this is different from the original. You do get a couple different controls for when you're playing the game, and you also get to take a look at the concept art. I love that they included this part of the process in this. I played on PlayStation 4 when I did, but when you switch between the different characters, you also get to see their lightsaber color, which is cool. And then here are the character menus. This is a bit different from the original, but they're cool. Not much else to say about them. And first up, we're going to take a look at what this game excels at. And Jedi Power Battles absolutely excels at the co-op aspect. Playing this with my youngest sister took me back to the early 2000s when, the games weren't typically online, but you just had your sibling or your friend to play with. And when I think about Star Wars games, those were the most fun times. Playing with another person on this game is absolutely a blast. This game was already super fun, but playing in co-op just makes it that much better. There are no shortage of characters that you can play as in Jedi Power Battles, and what's really unique about it is that a lot of these are characters that aren't the main characters in Phantom Menace. A lot of them have their own unique abilities and they play differently, and it really helps with the playability of Jedi Power Battles because they play so differently. Obi-Wan plays super fast, Adigalia is very acrobatic, and I love that she does it underhand. Mace Windu, his special move is really fun too. And playing as Padme or playing as the characters with guns is really fun too. I don't remember if you could play as the battle droid in the original game. That's something that I should definitely probably look up. But playing as the battle droid is an absolute treat. I didn't play as him until I beat the game for the very first time, but playing as him as an absolute blast. He has different abilities like everyone else, so he does fist fight. The battle droid does fist fight. All of the droids in this game will actually fist fight you if you get too close to them, but he can also drop kick people. It's really fun to drop kick Darth Maul as a battle droid. That's not a sentence that I ever thought I would say, but he has the fist fighting, he has the drop kicking, and he does have the blaster, which is really cool for taking away enemies that are far away. Power Battles also does have different modes. So there's one where you can chase Jar Jar around as Gungans and try to get him into the Gungan thing. You can also race on these Gungan animals. There also is a horde mode where you can play through different hordes. That's really fun too, good way to test your skills. You can also drive a Stap in one of the levels, which is the droid speeder. That's fun, and I think this is the only Star Wars game, besides the Lego ones, where you can play as a droideka. There also is a training mode, so you can try different jumping things, different platforming things. This is fun too, to test your different skills. Another part of Jedi Power Battles that's really cool is the blaster deflection. So in most Star Wars games, the blast deflection will be done for you automatically, but in Jedi Power Battles, if you press the left bumper, you'll block it, and it's really cool and it feels really fun. Jedi Power Battles also is very unironically funny.
Oh no! Anyway, last week.
This would have solved so many problems.
No, I'm gone. I'm gone. No, no, no. Mission abandoned. Mission abandoned. Mission.
The level design in this game is nothing short of amazing. Most of these are locations from the Phantom Menace, but that just goes to show how great the designs in that movie were. There's so much variety in these levels and they look so different, they're so vast. There's lots of different factors that also go into it, and that also increases the replayability for it as well. I think that these levels are great. Now when it comes to negatives, I think that the camera in this game can be very frustrating. This game also can be very difficult at some times. Sometimes there will be health that is not seen for a very long time, so you have to go a while without it. Sometimes enemies will just uppercut you like I just did. It is funny sometimes, but sometimes it can be really annoying. Sometimes this game is very hard. The biggest crime in this game are the many bugs. So in this instance, Darth Maul just randomly disappeared. In this next clip, Ki-Adi-Mundi was really tiny, and this happened with a few characters until I closed the game out. In this instance, I was soft locked, so I couldn't get through this even though I had done everything correctly, and I'll just let this one speak for itself.
So when it comes down to it, the question is this game good? Is this game worth it? Star Wars Jedi Power Battles is one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games. I think that this game is absolutely worth it. Even more so fun if you have a friend to play with. What I remember the most, and this spurred my love of this character is my favorite character in all of Star Wars, only tied with Luke Skywalker. But this was really the first experience that you had, besides the comics and the movie, as the character Plo Koon. And I remember so vividly being so entranced with this character, and I remember him having a yellow lightsaber. And I think that the first example of a yellow lightsaber was in Dark Forces, which I also remember playing as well. But I remember being so interested in the yellow lightsaber and in Plo Koon. I think that his character design is one of the best in Star Wars. Again, I can't really overstate how much fun this game is to play with other people. Some of the most fun I've ever had with Star Wars or with Star Wars games has been played with this. I played with my youngest sister on this game, had a ton of fun. I even played with my mom, and that was a ton of fun too. She actually helped me play it when I was 6. So I think that this game is a ton of fun. If I were to give this game a grade, I would rate Star Wars Jedi Power Battles a 7.75 out of 10. I think that this game is an absolute blast. There are some negatives. I do think that this game has a ton of bugs. The most bugs that I ever experienced were in the last level. Some of the most popular games in history are ones that have bugs. My favorite games, my favorite series are Fallout games. Those games are notorious for having bugs, but they're still considered among the greatest games ever. If you haven't played this game, again, I highly recommend it. And if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.